Hey guys, welcome to Big Sister. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Wednesday. I think it is Wednesday. If it's not, forgive me. I want to talk with you all guys about living a life that is not so complex, okay? And one of the things that can make your life very complicated is when you're trying to control other people. When you're trying to control how people should be, shouldn't be, how they should act, how they shouldn't act. And when you allow their bad behavior or their dismissal or indifference to affect you. You cannot make a person do anything. And when you're trying to make people to get people to do something, whether it is to change a bad habit, whether it is to be whether you want them to be committed to you in a relationship, you want them to stop lying, you want them to stop cheating, you want them to be a better friend, you want them to show up to events on time, you want them to have a better attitude when you guys are out on a trip with friends and family. Whatever it may be, guys, you cannot control anyone. Now, the only time that there are people that you have to have oversight on and you're responsible for their growth is normally your children, okay? And because they need that guidance. And when you are a parent who you truly care about the welfare of your child, you are going to raise that child. You know, you're going to have to give them love, and you also have to give them correction, the perfect balance. And you have to also gauge yourself to know if you're being too laid back or if you're being too tyrannical, all right? And no one should be any sort of tyrannical, but you know what I mean. So only children, and that is for a certain time of their life. That's only for a specific phase of their life. And after that, they're now supposed to be let go, fly the nest, and be able to make their own choices. But when it comes to adults, I would say you can't control anybody. And a lot of times people are very miserable and they become very unhappy, especially if they have someone who is an antagonist in their life. And they allow that person's behavior and what they're doing to cause them to spiral, or cause you to behave unseemly, cause you to react, cause you to snap. And I want you to understand that a lot of times when those things happen, yeah, we can go ahead and say, oh, this person upset me so much. He did this, she did this, they did that. But guess what? We are ultimately responsible for our reactions. And this is where our disciplines are going to come in. This is where we're going to see for ourselves how we reacted, and that is going to be not a reflection on the person, but on ourselves. You see, when we start to look inward and not necessarily outward, yes, I'm not saying that we are going to minimize or we are going to say the person is any less culpable in what they chose to do, but you are more responsible for yourself and how you react. So if there's someone that gets under your skin and they cause you to act a certain way, and they cause you to get into a text match, and they cause you get so mad you're taking it out on your children, or you're being really extreme, or you're behaving a certain way, you have to look at yourself, because you're the one who have control over you. If you're not able to control your emotions and your reactions and make rational decisions despite how you feel, then that person is not really the problem. They are the antagonists. They're the ones that may light that fire, but you're the ones that fan it, that can cause it to be where it's a small thing, you just step on it and it's out, or you pour gasoline on it with your own emotions. And guys, this is the hard thing to do. It's very difficult, but I encourage you to rise to the challenge, because it's going to help you to grow. It's going to help you to mature. It's going to help you to have some self-discovery. And as you are on a quest to do better through counseling, through whatever courses you may have to take, going to see a therapist, reading books, and through on-the-job training, OJT, which means you get to practice these principles that you want to, what is the word that I'm looking for? These principles that you're trying to integrate into your life and apply it to your life. You're going to go through the crawl, walk, run phase where it'll be difficult. You may fall, you may mess up, you may find yourself relapsing, but if you really have it within yourself to say, no, I'm going to change, I'm going to be different, then you're not going to focus so much on these individuals who wants to act like, what I'm going to say, a little sea donkey, okay? They just want to act up. They want to be difficult. A lot of times these people, they have things that's going on in their lives, and they target other individuals. They practice displacement. So let's say a person their boss gave them a hard time. Displacement is you come home and you kick the dog, you complain, you pick on your children, you are going to criticize what was cooked for dinner, all these different things. You are going to flip someone the bird in traffic, or you're yelling at people while you're sitting in traffic because someone has already dumped on you in some way, or dumped on these individuals. And then what happens is, now I need to unload it. I need to unleash this on someone else. So if there's someone who is in a powerful position, who has exerted their authority or abused it towards this person, now they, instead of processing this right and going through all the steps of what it's going to take for me to either deal with this situation. How can I deal with it? What can I do? What are my options? How do I get out of here if that's the case? What are the steps I need to find a different job or different position or whatever? They are now going to unload. They feel the pain of whatever's going on in their life. It could be the boss at work. It could be that they are looking and realize, I should have gone to school. I should have done this. Someone broke up with them, or someone is getting married, someone has lost weight, someone got the promotion. There can be so many different things, but now they have unloaded their negativity on you, and now you carry it. See? And then what happens is, you need to unload, and you practice the very thing that the boss did, right? The person who hurt you, whatever triggered you or triggered these individuals, they go and they take it out on the kids. So you ever see, I did a video about abusers, and talked about how sometimes the house is at peace, but as soon as this person comes home, everything is tense. And what happens is that person is bringing in all their negativity, all their anger, whether it's from work, childhood, who rejected them, all of that, you didn't say yes to them, all these things. They come in, they carry that, and it's like you can cut it with a knife. You can feel it. So when they get home, they take it out on everybody. So a lot of times people lose to themselves. We can lose to ourselves. We can lose to our emotions and the way that we think about it, because we are allowing certain individuals to control us by what they say or do. So how can you work through this? Number one, you have to realize that you cannot control what a person does. Let's say, for example, you need something. There's something you need from a person, and the person just they don't want to give it to you, okay? They know you need something, and this is a way that you can kind of see the type of person, the type of individual some people are. Because when you need help, or when they're in a position of power, you'll see how they will react. So let's say there's something that you need to get from this person, and they're just either stalling, not answering you, whatever the case may be, or they're telling you, well, if you want this, you got to do this or do that, right? They may take that opportunity to throw some things in your face and whatever, and they're saying, no, I'm not going to do it. Now you have the option at that point to sit there and argue with that person and tell them how selfish they are and have a temper tantrum and get into a texting match and a texting war and do all these different things and give yourself a headache and get mad and drink yourself under the table and go home and yell at everybody and scream at everybody and do, just behave unseemly. Or you think of an alternative way. So one or two things. You think of an alternative way that you can get things done. And then some other things you realize, if they're absolutely not going to give it to you, there's nothing I can do about this. I'm just not going to be able to do that. Okay? Let's say you need this person to what is it? You need to borrow their car because you need to go to class. The person's not going to give you their car. They don't want to, and it's not for good reason other than they just want to be that way. They want to see you in need. You can beg, you can cry, you can do all these different things, or you can come up with a plan to get to school. Okay? But at that moment, you got to realize if there is no plan and you can't get it, you're probably just not going to be able to go to school. You can't go. All right? The issue happens is because we want this thing, and it's probably some legitimate, right? You need to go to school. You need to go to work. You need this. You need help, and the person's not going to give it to you. Well, a lot of times what's happening, because they're refusing it, they're expecting you to yell and scream and fight with them and carry on and beg and plead and all of this. But sometimes, guys, you have to control you. What can I do? Is there anyone else that I can ask? You should be bold enough. This person doesn't want to give you a ride. Be bold enough to go across the street to your neighbors and ask. Will it look weird? Will you feel a little embarrassed? Maybe. But guess what? You need to go to school. And you do what you need to do. And from that point on, you plan and you think of, how can I get to school? How can I get what I need in the future? And then sometimes, guys, as I said before, depending on the situation, if you wanted the person to do something for you and you thought they were going to do it, you thought they were going to take you to do this, if they refuse to do it, all you can do is control yourself. Find another way. Figure out how to get it done, or it's just not going to get done. It is not in my power to do this thing. I'm not in a position right now to plan anything specific, so I can't do it. And you know what? You accept it. But it is hard sometimes because the disappointment, the hurt, the pain, the aggravation, it makes you want to react to what they have done, to them preventing you. But then the more you're arguing with them, the more they're going to tighten their grip on whatever it is that you want. And I'm not telling you to be laid back and, just let people walk all over you. There are some instances where you may have to do a little bit more. For example, if someone is doing something that's going to endanger you or your children, something's going to cause you some financial problems. Of course, you want to find ways to, someone's stolen something from you. You're not going to sit back and be like, they're not going to give it back to me. Oh, well, but now you have the responsibility to do what? Get law enforcement involved. Do what you need to do. Understand that law enforcement may tell you, we need to write out a report, or, we got to wait this many hours, or sometimes they're not as quick about it. And again, these are certain things at the end of the day, regardless of if anyone is being, they are being expedient in action or not, the responsibility, not the pressure, comes back on you. That is somewhat of a rule that I live by, and I applied a lot in my life in a lot of ways. Situations where I have to ask for something, maybe I have to do something with a person and they're just not doing it, or they're just refusing. I disengage. I ask you, and then I see the person is behaving as if like they've been waiting for me to ask them for something. I'm going to figure out the plan B. What else do I need to do? And then if that cannot happen, oh well, it's just not going to happen. Would there be disappointment? Would wish there was another way? Yes. But what I'm not going to do is sit there and can keep arguing with somebody, because people who try to tighten their grip on things when you need them, they have a lot of times, and it's not even for a good reason. You know, if you're like an irresponsible person and you can't be trusted, perhaps that person's like, no, you know, you have a track record of doing this or that. But there's some people, they're just naturally, they're miserable, they're manipulative, they like to have some forms of control, and a lot of times because they don't have any control in other ways. In lots of ways in their lives, they are not winning. In many ways in their lives, they're not in control of their lives. Perhaps they're not even working the job they want to work. They're not in the place they want to be financially or emotionally, spiritually. So then if they come across a person that may need something from them, and depending on the type of who they are as a person, what their character is like, they can't see the bigger picture. They're looking at, oh, this is my opportunity to say how I've always felt, and this is my opportunity to do whatever I want to do, and I'm going to make you beg, and I'm going to make you pay. And then guess what? They're going to feed off of you arguing with them, feed off of you texting them, feed on you calling and cursing them out and showing up and doing this and being extreme and sending cryptic messages online. You know how that goes. People get mad and then they go on Facebook and put up some meme with some message. When people want to be shady, just remember, God's in charge. You know, it's like, okay, here we go. So what you want to do, guys, is take that power away and be responsible for yourself and how you're responding and what you are saying. You can only control you. Find another way, or just accept that this is not going to happen. And you don't need to say anything to the person. You don't need a response. You don't need to say, all right, bet. You don't need to say, really? None of that. Because even that is giving them challenge fuel. Even that is letting them feel they would love to see that, so they can say, oh yes, exactly, or ignore you. So take your power back. And this is going to take some time, because what you have to do is learn yourself. You have to focus on, what am I feeling on the inside? Why am I reacting this way? Why is my heart racing this way? Why do I feel like I want to, react this way? And how do I not do that anymore? And guys, sometimes it's going to take help from a therapist or whoever else, a support group. Sometimes it's going to take the workbooks, workshops, sitting and watching YouTube videos that will help you, prayer, all of that, guys. And watch yourself improve, because it's going to help you to grow. You have to understand that there's certain things in life you simply cannot control. And one of the things you cannot control is people. You can't make someone love you. You can't make someone marry you. You can't make someone want to stay with you in a marriage. You can't force people to be on time to an event. You can't force anyone to support you. It doesn't matter if your argument is, well, I always support you. That's not their problem, is it? You do always support them. So what does that tell you? You may need to change some things. Don't set up anything where you have to become dependent on this person, where everyone has to sit and wait. Hey, the person is normally late. Stop waiting for them. Leave them. The first time they see that you left, they're going to get the picture. But a lot of times people who are just habitually late all the time, they know you're going to sit there. But lo and behold, when they come outside and don't see you, or you start something without them, they may be upset, but that is not your problem. You take control. You get dressed, you guys need to be somewhere. This person's always late. They know you're going to sit and wait for them in the parking lot, or in the driveway. You guys do carpooling. This person is always late, or get out just in time where you're barely making it. You have to make decisions that's best for you. But you know what? A lot of people are fearful. They are scared. Or it's just easier to react and to respond emotionally than to do the work to say, I need to change the way I am reacting. I need to change the way that I am behaving, the way that I'm responding, or I need to do something different. Yes, I need to leave. If you're not on time, I'm going to leave you. You need to just give them that one heads up. If you're in a relationship and the person continues to hurt you, well, they're going to keep doing that. What are you going to do about it? Stay or leave. You see what I'm saying? You can stay there and allow them to continue to have you in your emotions and your feelings, and you're acting unseemly, and you are depleting, and you're becoming more and more diminished, and your characteristics is changing. Now you're going to look ugly to them, because when you're always complaining and talking to them, I can't believe you did that, you are going to become unattractive, even if you are the most attractive. Whiny, nagging, going back and forth, having long talks, you are literally going to start looking like an old potato to this man or this woman, because especially if they're not treating you right, they already don't care. So now they have someone they're laughing with and having a good time with that they may be cheating on you with, and here you are in, a dusty top talking about let's talk. Don't let anyone take you there, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? I've experienced this before, and being a strong person, know who I am, dealing with, this guy that was just head games, and I knew better. I always knew that I have the ability to walk away, as I've said in another video before, but I used to think that I was like, man, maybe I'm being too hard, I'm being too mean, because I'm so quick to just, bring the axe down and be like, it's done. So listen to my friends at a very early age who told me I'm just too final. I'm thinking, all right, let me do this little, give you chances. Okay. Oh, no, guys, stay away from it, because let me tell you what's going to happen. As I said in another video, when you stick around and hang around with people who lie and do these things and manipulate, whether it is a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, fiance, best friend, family member, whoever it may be, when you stick around people who behave poorly and they continue to be a certain way, and you stick around, you are going to change. You cannot be around a serial liar, a serial cheater, a friend who is just selfish and manipulative. You cannot be around people like that without it affecting you. It's going to affect you, and a lot of times you are going to begin to behave in a way or react in a way that is so not you anymore. And so you have to pull away. So guys, I'm going to just stop here and just say, you're in control of you. You cannot control people. You cannot make anyone do anything. Whether you are right or they are wrong, or you're wrong and they're right. We have no control over people. You can only control yourself and how you respond. And when people want to hold things over your head, and they want to drag things out, and they want you to need them, and I'm not going to give you this, I'm not going to need that, you can't get that, then you just think to yourself, all right, I need to figure out another way, or okay, I'm just not going to get that, and say nothing else about it. If it's documents and important things that you may need, like your social security card and things like that, you actually can get it again. You can just get another one. Go to the Social Security office, call them, regardless of your age. Hey, this is the case. Someone can help you. A lot of things, guys, you can get it done, but a lot of times people are too afraid to go to someone and ask for help and say, I need this, because what? Oh, it's going to look bad. It's going to make the person look bad. Oh, well, as I said, if they're late all the time, drive off and leave them. They don't show up in time, get on the flight. And just learn Not to allow it where they're the ones that's booking the hotel and booking everything else, because that's what a lot of times these individuals do. They're the ones that's done the booking. They're the ones that book the hotel. So now you're stuck. You can't leave because you can't do certain things without them. Oh, they're the one that did the rental. Nope. Set yourself up that you are in the driver's seat. And these are lessons that you will learn over time. I hope this makes sense, guys. Peace.